Hi, my lovely spectators. Dee Dee here, and welcome to my studio. So, mask making, we are at it one more time. I'm gonna make some tag ephemera holders. These have been out for the longest, and I'm sure you have seen many a version. And I'm not gonna probably come up with anything that's too woohoo crazy, but I am gonna do it because I need to get rid of these book pages, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So I'm using book pages. They are nice and thick. They don't crack or break when they are folded, but the content is that of which I kind of need to I hear everybody talking about, oh, look for the bad words, right? So I was like, what do you mean? Well, because some people can and will be offended with certain words. And I haven't been doing that. I don't plan to do that like so religiously, but in this case, it's gonna happen. And I'll show you why in a minute. I'm just looking for something here that I thought I needed, but maybe not. 1 second. I also I don't want to knock over a bunch of things, so I'm stacking them up away from me. So you will see that I have some scraps that I've been using this paper pad for all the mask makes. I know, it's crazy. This guy, this punch is going to be what I'm going to use. It's not a necessity at all, but I'm going to use it because it creates that little cute and it adds the whole 1 2 3, and I think that that's going to be cutesy, but you don't really have to have it, right? You don't need to do that. What you will need to do is you're going to need to cut down some paper. So what I have here are 6 by 12. So I had used these in another project where I needed 3 and 3. So I needed 3 by 3 shapes. So I'm left with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down 2 strips. So it's going to make 2, 4, 6, 8. Is that a mask make? No. I can grab another piece of paper to make it up to 10 or more. So I might do that, but it's not necessary, right? 8 is good because it's a lot. It's a bit much. All right. So if you have this punch, right, it tells you in your directions how much the sizes are, and then once you lose your directions, you don't know what the hell's happening. So I just put this. So what it looks kind of weird is because for the widest is 2.5, then 2 you would get a different one, and then 1.5 you would get a different. So 2.5 gives you this top, and 2 gives you this top, and 1.5 gives you this top. And now that I've tilted it, I could see there's different, but I can't see that. So not like when you need to see, like I don't need to be trying to tilt it to read what it says there. So I put it plain in black and white. So 2.5 inches is what we're going to cut these strips down to. We're going to cut the full length of it because we're going to need the full length for what we're doing. And again, I'm trying to not have, why did I take them all off? Duh. Not have a ton of scraps. I mean, I've said this in other videos and people are like, oh, scraps. Yeah, I have scraps, but like, I want to maximize what I'm doing. So I'm going to 2.5, so 2.5, and I'm cutting this down to 2.5. And then another 2.5 right here. Another 2.5. So I am going to have this. This is a good scrap. And see, look, I already talking yaka kaka laka laka. I cut it wrong. So these are both right now really going to scraps. This is a 2.5. It happens, people. It happens. 2.5. Okay, stop yapping. And let's get our 2.5s first. Hold up a second. This is not 2.5. Okay. 2.5. All right. All right, so we are gonna have 8. So I have the extra little strip there. Woo, people, I'm all over the place. But you know what? What do they say in carpentry? I'm sorry, I moved the camera. What do they say in carpentry? Measure twice, cut once. Guys, we need to use that thing as well. So 2.5 and 2.5. So that'll be a scrap, and then another 2.5. Okay. And another thing is, like, I'm trying to use this in the mask make. I am gonna use it. I still have these pieces added to my collection of things, right? It's not my favorite paper, right? So I mean, I got it because the vintage vibe and everything like that, but I'm just like, whatever. So this is pretty decent. I would say close to 65 if I'm thinking about the Michaels cardstock and comparing, and this is probably from Michaels too, comparing it and like when I feel it, so something around there. So here we go. We've got these guys. So that's our first phase with this one, is to cut that. So now there is orientation. So we will be trying to, we're going to use this next to just get it out of our way. So I'm going to put all the orientations up that have orientation. So this has a little bit of text. That's upside down because there's the text there. This one's upside down for the text, and yeah, text, right? All right. So we're going to fold this. So I want my text to be up on the top part. It's going to be a little wraparound, right? So I want to have my text showing here. So in reality, even though your text is this and you would think this side, you need to make it the punch on this bottom part. And let me show you with one that's a little more visual that you can see. So all the text is here and all the text is here. So when I wrap around, right, I don't want the text, I mean, this is good, but this text here, this is going to be on the top. I want the little shape to be here. So see how by doing that, so what I'm doing is I'm actually putting the shape on the bottom of, with the text, you know, there. So I'm going to do the shape like that. So we slip this in to the back so you can see that it reaches the back, right? And then you punch. Okay. Now it loses a little bit of the height, so it's not 12 anymore. It's like 1/8 lost, and then this is gone. It also makes the hole so you can add a nice little eyelet. So we'll probably try to do that today, depending on how long the video is. So we're going to punch them all. So every single text is correct. I'm just going to the bottom, slipping it in until I feel that it's set, right? Making sure that it's between the lines on the front and making the punch. And I'm just doing that. Okay. So we're going to start with that. Okay. So we're making an ephemera holder, right? It's not going to hold a ton of ephemera. It's going to have maybe 4 pockets, right? You don't want to make it so it's so bulky. You want to be able to maybe add this into a journal that you're, you know, creating for yourself or someone else, right? Always thinking about whether or not this is going to be going out in the world. I feel like that I've seen a lot of us journalers are crafting, enjoying this, having so much, and at some point, you're going to have to start figuring out where your stuff is going, because it's like taking over your house, right? So you gift it to friends, sell at craft fairs, whatever the case is, that's going to happen. So yeah. So basically, that's it. So these guys are prepped for now. Okay. So they're prepped for now. So we're just going to put them to the side. Right? You can ink them if you want, all of that. That's up to you guys. That's your prerogative. Okay, so now let's talk about, well, how many do I have? I think it's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 8. We have 8. And this is gonna be, they're gonna be kind of narrow. So the bits that you put in here might not be, I'm sorry, I'm holding something to hold my hair up. Hold on a second, because it's warm. I feel warm, and I'm in New York. It's winter, but I like it cool. And unfortunately, you know what? Let me see if I could turn my little fan. It's not loud, guys, but I'm louder. Let's see if I can get that on. So, got one of those. What do you call it? Split units. It does a little bit of everything. Let's just turn the fan on because it's warm. Okay, so let's get back to the next piece that we need to prep. So what I was saying before is the bad words, right? Don't ask me why. I'm a freca. The ideal marriage, right? General human sexual physiology. I was looking at patina in the thrift store. I was looking at text. And this was early on when I started to get books, right? But it's like, yeah, it's gonna have words that people are not going to like. So I'm going to use it to create something where it's kind of completely hidden. You're really going to have to be digging. You know, I mean, come on, look. Do we want to see that on a tag? I don't think so. So I'm going to take, I need 2 sheets for each of these. So I'm going to take out 8 sets, right? So I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Ooh, let me put this back. You know what else I was finding? Did this happen to also be perfect to put in my printer so I can print over it? That may be better. That may be helpful, but I'm still on the fence about that because, you know, people might be looking for them words. So anyway. So, yeah, so what I'm going to do, and also I was like learning how to take a signature apart and all that great stuff. So what I want to do, what we're going to do is each one is going to need 2. So we need to create a pocket so that we can store the ephemera. So we're actually going to make 4 pockets out of this. So we are going to need to separate them, right? So it doesn't matter if they get a little fuzzy over here. So what I want to do is I need a pocket that's going to fit within here. Now this is 2.5. So the biggest pocket that I could probably do is like 2 3/8. But that's a little much. We're going to do 2 1/4 and call it George, right? So this guy is about 5 3/4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scoring blade. And notice in this particular case, they're attached. So for me, I'm going to be able to double up on this, which also sometimes when you score, you can kind of get a little bit too much pressure and break the paper. So hopefully with this, it's going to have that a little substance on that. So doubling up on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score lightly, right? Down one side. And then I'm going to turn it around. See, it's like it feels like it's going to rip the paper. I don't know. This paper... And I'm going to use the line, so I don't know if you can see the line, right? So this is where the line is, the scored line, right? And because I want it to be 2 1/4, I'm going to move that line to where it says, so this is 2 1/4. Let's see if it works for 2 3/8. I don't know if it's going to work. But I got more paper, so that's okay. So I'm lightly going to score. Maybe not with this one. Maybe I use a ball, because this is more of a blade kind of situation. So let's grab that. See if this is better, right? You got to kind of figure out, you know, the ball, bigger ball, doesn't give you as much of a as this guy does, because this is like a blade, right? It's, you know, straight and thin. Anyway, let's just take a look and see if we have the right measurement before we go and continue. So now that I've scored them both sides, right, I'm going to separate them because I don't need them. And so I'm going to separate my pages. And now I'm going to fold on the score here. Fold on the score here. Perfect. So 3/8 is going to work for us, right? This is 2 3/8. Well, in my case, 2 3/8. Let me just double check. 2 and yes. So what I want to do is I want to create a pocket, right? So if I have this, I don't want this on the inside. I'm going to put it like this, right? So when you do an overlap like this, you need to glue in 2 places. Let me show you. Okay, so I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do the folding first and then the gluing next. But I'm just going to show you right away, but then you're going to see it again anyway. So you're going to want to glue on this edge as close as you can because you want a nice seal there, right? And then this edge, and then over here inside, right, the paper on this edge. So we're going to do that. And then when you bring them together, you hold that one down and you bring this one over and you created your pocket. Okay, you actually, not yet, you created, hello, you created a tube. You know, if a damn, I thought I had one around here. Paper towel tube, you can do this, but they're so thick and rigid. But it's, you know, a tube. Okay, so let's go ahead and score everything because mass make, we do one thing at a time. And so let's bring back my scoreboard. I wish I don't know where my other one is. which is the one that, you know, doesn't. So I didn't fold this one yet, so we're going to put that to the side. We just did one just to see if it's going to work. Okay, so I'm going to do a line, and I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to look for that score line and match it up to whatever inches I need. I need it to be at 2 1/4, 2 3/8, right? Where I can't see my line. So how's the lighting, guys, on these videos in mass make? I've been doing them in a little bit of the night, and this is 2. This is 2 1/2. This is 2 1/4. This is 2 3/8. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're just gonna do that. Just make a line here. See, you can hear it like it went too far. I'm gonna make a mark right there. So 2 1/4, 2 3/8. Light. Okay. Hopefully I don't break anything. I'm trying to use this paper. It's not that bad. Like I said, it doesn't automatically crack, but with the scoring, it is breaking up fibers. I'll turn it around, mark my little line. 2 1/4, 2 3/8. Okay, 2 3/8. Again, so we're gonna do this on 8 sets of paper because we have 8. That's gonna make us 4 pockets. You'll see in a minute how that works out. Okay. Okay. Yes. So, how's everybody's mask making March been going? Anything really super different that you found that you could recommend to go look for specifically? On the weekends of March, I usually I'm searching up the hashtag. I'm making sure I'm in the right spot. The hashtag, and then, you know, letting the videos run and watching, you know, hoping to, you know, just give some people some love with some time and stuff. And yeah, so sometimes I'll fall asleep, but you know what? The TV's on and they're playing in a series, and guess what? Those people are getting algorithm love, and that's good. I think that's good. Okay. All right. So it's like I think it was Natasha from Treasure Books who put out a video one time, and she said, "Let me be your buddy." Her crafting buddy. She was like, "Just throw me on in the back, you know, in the back, in the background and whatnot." I lost track. 8. There we go. And I was like, "Oh, she's so funny." But it's true. Like sometimes you just feel like you need to see, like, have that, like, that energy around you, and just having someone playing, even though if you're not watching, like so. I'm gonna need it. Well, maybe I don't need it again. I might be able to freehand this. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do all the folding and the separating, right? So this guy is done. We're gonna put him away because he's taking up space in my room, on my table. So here we go. We're gonna separate all of these guys. Okay, so that, and yeah. So I know I miss my crafty buddies. I was just in touch with some of them. Well, the crew. And we're going to try to meet up during April. You know, you have to give everybody advance notice to maybe, you know, not to craft necessarily, but just, you know, go out and have some lunch maybe, and just touch base with life. One had moved already to Atlanta, and so we haven't seen her in like forever. A couple of the other ones that I've seen here and there, spoken to. I messed it up, but that's okay. That's all right, no problem. And there. So, and then one of them actually just moved to Connecticut, but she still works down here. God love her. That's a trek. But she's closer to retirement, I think. So, a few more years, she should be, you know, able to kind of retire, and she's already got her house and she's worked on it and stuff. That's like awesome. Okay, so now we're going to do all of these tubes, right? So we're going to do all of these tubes. We're going to fold and fold. Okay, I'm going to do the folding and the gluing because, you know, it doesn't make sense to just fold. We're right here. We're going to throw the glue line, really simply put, throw the glue line up here. And so, yeah, so her being over in Connecticut is not going to be a hindrance. I haven't seen a lot of them, of course, because, you know, since the vid. And also, I also moved out to Long Island, East. and it's, you know, it's a little bit, so it can be a little bit of a trek. I still work in Queens, so I actually am out there as well on a semi-regular-ish base. And so yeah, so we're gonna do that. You know, so I was watching Gail Agostinelli recently, and she was talking about, you know, she goes out with her. When she says it, I'm like, I'm so jealous. Like, she goes out with her buddies like once a month. She puts it on the calendar right before they leave, and it's settled. And you know what? That's fantastic that you have that presence of mind. I wish that I did that, or forced it, you know, but not forced it. I feel like that's the wrong word. Suggested it, you know, made it happen basically. So I have a lot of women in my life that have influenced me in very positive ways, and who have been there, that I miss dearly and wish that I saw on a regular basis. But life changes, and things happen. Let's not go depressed here. Anyway, so yeah, so we're just gonna glue up all of these guys over here, and I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna do this so that way. Now you may say, why glue this one here? Because when you fold this one over, it's gonna glue this, because you don't want anything going behind it or causing any kind of problems in that respect, right? It just adds a little bit more protection. All right, I'm gonna do this, and I'm just gonna have the recipe fast forward, and then we will continue. Okay, so we have 16 of these pages now. Everything has been nicely glued together. So we've got our 16 tubes, okay? And just gonna stack them up, right? All perfect, same width, everything. And comparatively speaking, let's see, did I mess up? No. Nice and to there. So what is the next step? Well, we're not going to do with these just yet, because these are going to be dictated by the next step. And the next step is going to be to fold them in half, right? So you can choose to fold them like this or like that. Doesn't really matter, because we're going to then be gluing them. So just match them up and fold them in half. Okay, we fold them in half. We're actually going to be placing 2 into each of these guys. So that'll be putting together as one booklet. So the folding in half is not going to take that long. So anyway, as I was thinking, as I was doing this, I mean, I noticed, like, if you're trying to do something mask making, I don't know if you noticed, I turned the papers around because I wanted the raggedy edge to be on the top here. So I had to make sure that it was there, or else it was throwing off my flow. But anyway, and also people are going to be like, what the hell are you putting in these? I don't know. I'm going to try to come up with some ideas, because yeah, they are kind of long. And if you're giving them ephemera, you know, you're thinking small little things. But I mean, stickers, we have stickers that are long. We have tags. Tag would, you know, a little tag would fit in here. You know, bits and pieces. You can give them a selection of different types of scraps of paper. Yeah, like, you know, hello. If you don't like the length, guess what? You can just trim it and stuff. Or yeah, pick a different one. Or if you went the other way, the other direction, you would get a wider, shallower little pocket. Okay, but because I wanted to do the tag version, I decided to do them this way. Okay, so we're just gonna finish up folding these. Okay. And then we're gonna have another gluing extravaganza. Okay. I don't know about using not hot glue. What is it? Glue stick or whatever. I'm just gonna stick with regular old white glue or art glitter glue. Or maybe even I have some wood glue there that I could use. But there we go. So we have them all glued, so they're all going to be the same height, right? And they happen to be, just to tell you for this point of reference, 4.5. So my page was 9, so 4.5. So even though we can see words like we don't want to see, they're going to be glued in. This guy's a little narrower. I wonder why. Anyway, let's see if we find one. Yeah, this guy matches up with this one. What's going on? Okay, so we'll put these two together. Maybe this guy's a chubby bubby. Yeah, he's kind of chubby. What's up with that? He matches with this one. Okay. Okay, let's match them up because there is some irregularity when it comes to scoring, especially when you're scoring two things at the same time. That's another thing. You might have seen that some of the score lines, when I was folding it, I had to kind of like push them around, because I'm trying to do a light score that the paper will respond but won't cut through the paper. So that happened, and it wasn't a big deal to kind of match up what needed to be matched up. I'm just sticking pairs all over around me because, like I said, there is some irregularity. Let's see, I think this one. It's kind of like you can almost tell which ones are the chubby bubbies. They feel, hopefully they still fit. But anyway, if they don't, lesson learned. Here we go, here, and then we got these two here, and these two. Okay, that's a chubby one. Okay, why are you big? Oh no, these go together. Okay, so there we go. So now we're going to glue. So when you're doing these accordion thingies, you really need to just glue the centers. They're not going to be a big deal. You know what? Actually, I'm going to try this. This is Tombow Mono Glue Stick Permanent. So I'm going to do a strip, and we're going to see what happens. So all we want to do is we want to put a strip. So I'm going to do double. I'm going to do that, like that. Fold it, and that's it. So now I'm going to get my consistent fold line. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one, in the center. And I'm going to close that like that. Okay? And then we're going to glue them down the center together. So we're going to put them up like this. Why are you acting like you shorter? Okay, and then this. Glue always has soundtrack on my thing. So here we go. There we go. So we're going to make sure we get all the way to the edge, so the edges are there, but you have this thing so now that it can open up and you can put goodies in there. Let me see something. I have a bunch of little tags over here. I got these tags. They fit perfect. You can give a bunch of these, and you can even have it hanging out like a little, you know, whatever. So these tags can be a nice little thing you add in here. Interesante. Okay, so let's do the rest, right? So hopefully this is going to be quick, right? We're going to do all the way to the top. We're going to go across, right? And we're going to glue that. So we're getting double glue. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Cross all the way to the top. Double glue. Okay. Then on one of them, we're going to go all the way. Double glue. Why not? And we're going to attach them. Make sure that the bottoms and the tops match and that they're side to side. Right? And then really burnish down. So if you have something else besides your fingers to press with, more power to you, because I already feel like my fingers are gonna hurt. Okay, and there we go. 2 down. Let's see. Let's do the next one. So yeah. So shorter and wider can give you more options for ephemera. Taller like this is going to, of course, limit the type of things you might be able to put in there. You could also put little things in there, but then, you know, they might have to tip it out, and that might be a little bit messy. So again, that's, you know, up to you how you want to do it, but the process would be the same, right? Using one sheet of paper to fold over this edge to make the 2 pockets, gluing down the center so that you have that ability to open up the pockets. So I'm not even concerned about the words here because we're not going to see them really, right? So burnishing like that, and then, you know, that way you can do that. So you really want the tops to be connected well. Okay, let's keep going. So I've seen a couple of versions. I know everybody's done this. I've done it before myself. Not as a tag though. So this is my first time doing it with the tags. And so that's going to be interesting. Which now I'm thinking about, was that what I wanted to do? Because that's going to have a hole in it. So we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, so just want to make sure I get the top. And then I'm coming down. Match that in the bottom. Fix that. It gives a little bit of wiggle, which is why glue stick is kind of good. But sometimes I feel like the ones that I've had, like that, I keep complaining about the rice one. I don't know. I feel like it doesn't come out as much as this guy does too. And I feel like this has a nice, it's expensive. Glue stick's expensive. And you know, we use glue sticks for like so much. It can be pricey. Our habit, not habit. Habit's got a bad connotation. Our hobby, that's the word that I was gonna say with the H. Our hobby can be expensive. But I think most hobbies are. If you really get into whatever it is that you enjoy doing, you are going to spend some money and you are going to be happy about it. All right. So let's go here in the middle. Okay. Okay, almost. We have 3 more, guys. 3 more. So, oh no, more than 3. I forgot how to count. I tucked them everywhere. I looked around my desk and I thought I only saw 3. Ooh, no bueno. Okay, I'm a little off with the measuring, so I'm not going to refold right now because it's already glued. Make sure that's good. Sides are good. 2 over here that I had forgotten about, and there's 2 more on that side. So, have a chat in the comments, guys. What's going on? Did you partake? I think I asked this in almost every video of Mass Make, so that if I get different people popping by because of what the content is about, did you partake? Did you also do some videos? You know, you can just say, yeah, and I could find your channel and make sure, you know, I'm sure, like I said, the hashtag is going to come up, but, you know, I could go and make a concerted effort to specifically go by you. Okay. So, all right, it's not so bad, right? Okay, there's really this one and one more set, and then we'll move on, guys. I'm getting a little sloppy with the middle, but it's not that sloppy. Oh, my pad is not it's moving. It's got things underneath it. That's why. Probably shouldn't have things underneath it. That way it could kind of stay put, but you gotta store things. Okay. And this is the last one we have to glue, and then we'll move on. So I hope you're hanging in there, guys. I'm afraid of silence, so I don't know if I should be talking right now. I don't know what you want to know about. I could talk shenanigans. Okay. So, how many of you have gone to the Scrapbooking Expo in recent years? How has it been? I haven't been. The first time I went ham. I spent so much money. I saved up for it like a year. But yo, I went crazy. and that was when I was just a scrapbooker and card maker. So I don't know if this scrapbooking expo would have vendors now that would even be something. I mean, we use scrapbook paper, we use glues and adhesives and inks, but other than that, I don't know. Like, it seems weird. Okay, so all of our little guys are there, so you want to make sure if you got some glue that shouldn't have been where it was, you want to just open them up and remove anything from the top here in case you went a little past the edge so that it's not glued shut. Okay, so we're just checking on that. Everything's opening nice and lovely. Let's double check. See, there's some glue there, so I want to just take it away with my fingers. Okay, so that way I don't have a pocket that's not usable. That looks good. Okay, all right. And okay, good, 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 good. All right, so now we're going to come back to these guys. So this was on the bottom when we punched it because we're going to flap it over. So we need to now figure out what we have to do here. So we want the top of our pocket to be here so that it could open up, right? And then we want to affix it over there, okay? So that's what we're gonna figure out right now. So we know it's 4.5. So I'm just gonna use it. Let's see. I'm not gonna bring the scoreboard. I'm just gonna measure it by that. I'm gonna burnish it now. I can't be killing my fingers. So the first one, right? So I'm just gonna go in here with one of these sets and just get my 4.5. Okay. Okay. So I'm lightly pressing it down to give me an approximation, and then I will burnish them. Now what I'm noticing also is that this part right here where this text is also correct. So cool, 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 cool. It's just the back would be upside down, right? Or what we would consider the opening, you know, we consider the opening the front, right? So, right. So if you wanted to take out the scoreboard and score this down to 4.5, totally an option, right? I'm just matching it up to the height, giving it a quick, and then I'll fold them, and burnish, right? So I'm still getting that 4.5. So like I'll take that out and now go back to here. That one was burnished, right? I'm gonna go and line that up. Okay. All right, now what you also may have to do is maybe make another fold. We're gonna take a look at that because I was curious about that too, because like you need some room for the stuff to be, right? But I mean, you really can't overload these. Like, you really shouldn't, rather. Not that you can't. You can, and then you can have like a whole thing going on, but there's only so much space is what I mean by you really can't overload them. Okay. Making sure everything is straight. Okay. So I have another one that needs, yes. This is the last one. Okay. All right. So yes, I'm still double checking on my mat that they're at 4.5 or so. Okay. All right. So now, what do we do next? Well, we're gonna have to glue these in there, right? So we're gonna have to glue on the front and also to the back here. Now, when we glue them, we're gonna be able to have that open up, right? I think we don't need to have anything on the bottom here. So gluing is gonna be easy, right? All we're gonna do is we're going to glue on the back in the middle and the front in the middle, and then we're gonna tuck it in and we're gonna close it up like that. That's it. So let's do that. Okay, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna glue it on the front, turn this over, don't press down yet, glue it on the back. Then I'm gonna bring it into my bottom, make sure that it's lining up, and then I'm gonna, there we go. Bam! I'm gonna throw that to the side. Let's do another. Okay. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna take it to the front. We're gonna glue it all the way up there. If we want, we can put it in, do that first, then flip it over, and then turn the other side. If you're more comfortable gluing one side at a time. Okay. I'm making sure that's there. Alright. So we're gonna have this. Okay. Alright. Okay. Let's finish up these other ones. Okay. Okay, another one. Another one bites the dust. Hey! How many of y'all know that? It's like, I listen to music that my daughter's listening to. She just turned 18. And let me tell you, I'm like, what the hell? But then we see those videos on the Gen Xers and stuff like that, and they're listening like the music that we listen to, because Gen X. It's just not that much better. It was different, but it was kooky. I mean, I guess every generation has that. I mean, remember when rock and roll, you know, all those movies we saw back in the day with Elvis, when rock and roll came out and the parents were in like, oh my God, an uproar. It's it's cycle, you know. But I don't foresee very much of the music of nowadays being used in the future for theme songs of movies or anything like that. I mean, we still see oldies, you know, what would I consider oldie movies, oldie songs to be used as movie tracks. That's it. Get the words out the mouth, Dee. Okay. All right. All right. Let's see. All right. Almost. 3 more. Then we'll do the closure. Alright. Gotta go all the way to the top. I'm like, why am I stopping short? Making sure that everything is lined up. Right. Okay, now, so we're gonna have to deal with the closure. So there's a couple things with that. I kind of wanted to do a Velcro dot, right? That's what I initially thought. But then with the tag cutting the circle, that kind of goes out the window. But in the time that I've been building these, I've been thinking about the needs of the actual mechanism, right? Because the mechanism has to open up. It has to afford some stuff going in there. And there may be a little bit of bulk that will build up, right? So you might want to add a gusset, but in reality, it's so tight down there, I don't think things are going to bulk up the bottom. So it's more about the top getting a little bit more accessibility. So let's, why am I missing a paper? What is going on with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, your girl is kooky today. I am missing all kinds of numbers of things. No bueno. Alright, so I guess I have one for me to make something later. I don't want to take time to cut more paper. Okay. Oh, let's make one super chunky. Let's add another stack. Why not? Let's roll with that. Right, because they're all the same width, so it's cool. All right, so I will need to adjust the bottom here, so I'm making a little bit of room, making sure that that matches up. Right, so we got a fatter one. Let's see. Oh, I know, guys. I know. I know. All right. I like the glue. So look. Oh, looky. you gonna fill up all that? That's excessive. Anyway, so we want to put, we want this to fit over it, right? And we're gonna have to put a crease into it. You could add a few lines so that you can do that whole like, what's it called? File folder, so that it could add to the weight of it, but no, I don't know about that. So let's just put some grommets in here. I got this off of somebody. 2 things, this and a big bite for like 20 bucks for both of them. Just, you know, I was like, oh, cool. And she had a bunch of these in there, but this doesn't work. It only works one size. Only one size works. So I was kind of disappointed. But again, I already have another one. So this was just going to be like an extra that I could, you know, put in the to-go bag. So to see, I'm just grabbing different colors because why not? I need 8 of them. You know? Oh, come on. Oh my god, I'm still sweating. Yo, what the heck? Alright. And what it is movement. Movement! Okay. So the hole is already cut. So what you're going to do is you're going to drop the grommet into the hole. The little fat thing, if you're not sure, goes into the grommet. And then sometimes you have a problem. See how that little bulge, it comes out? You got to make sure that it's lining up. If you don't, you're going to have a chance of having the back go haywire. So then now that will push it evenly and it'll be nice. So let's put the grommets in all of these because I do want to have a finished product this time around. I mean, we could still do decoration, right? Which some people may decorate it, but I'm thinking, you know, this is a more of a utilitarian thing to add into the journals that will afford persons that receive it to have a little bit of, you know, little things to kind of, you know, have some more extra fun. So I'm not even concerned about the color necessarily that I'm using. I'm just putting them and popping in the little grommet. So putting it in the hole. Oop. Now that I stopped talking caca, I'm over here not having a problem. Put it in the hole, turning it over, making sure that my little nubbin is in the hole. And then, yeah, then turning it over, making sure that it's lined up before I press. Yeah. So if you're having a problem with that, I think try that. So, want that there? Yeah, sure. Why not? Doesn't matter. Try that. Before you press completely, make sure that that nibbin is right inside of the circular part of the back. As if it's not, you will have potential to go a little crooked and that will mess up your backs. Okay, so we are done with that. All right, so guys, we are pretty much done. We just need to have some thread or something like that. So we're gonna put this here. I'm just gonna fold them over, and then, what do you call it? If we're using a thread to close it, then that's fine. As it expands and we need more room, it's gonna do that. We can just add, or you can just leave it sloping. So we need to put some twine or something. Do I have some twine or something nearby? I know, it's like, girl, why are you coming up here trying to show us something and you don't have your things? Tú no estás preparada. ¿Cómo? Okay. I'm gonna cause possibly a craftland. I know I got ribbon. Oh, here we go. It was under the desk. It was under my desk. Where is it? Where is it? I know there's a twine in here. Where'd she be? Oh no, she's not in here. Where did it go? Alright, you know. No, I don't want to use that. That don't look right. Alright, let's just use some of that because why not? It's not going to do them all, but I'll do one and then we're going to call it done because you know what? I'm trying to stay under an hour. I feel like, ooh, we's keeping that. Look. I was like, don't we? I know weirdo much, but it's going in my little pocket, a stash. All right, so this is I got this off of Temu, I believe. It came in like a pack of whatever. So we want to do a closure. So you could simply, you're gonna need, well, you could do it a couple different ways. You can put it so then you're wrapping it around like this. That's a lot of twine. You could put it through one and then you just tie it like that. That would save you some twine. Let's just do that. Let's just do that right now. I just want to close it. Let's do that. So I'm just gonna put it through one side. All right. And then it's gonna bring that. I'm gonna bring this over here to the front. I mean, this might be the cheapy way to do it, but hey, I'm like, I don't, you know, and also, you know, it's at least one so the thread, the twine won't disappear. So you can do it like that, right? That's one way. Let's see, what else can we do? You can put it through here, right? Whoops, hold up. Put it through here, okay? Make a little knot. Right, make a little knot, not too hard because you don't want to break the paper. Right, doing that, and then you can wrap it around. Right, you could wrap it around once or twice if you want to be real fancy. Just wrap it around once. I'll see if this is going to hold right, but we shall see. And then, you know, just, yes, I'm being stingy. And then I just wrap it like that. So that's another way, right? All I did was, let me show you again. It's tied there, right? You could fluff this out if you want. You could cut it shorter if you want. Let's fluff it out and see what it looks like. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it around once. I'm gonna come from this side. I'm gonna go around it once and around it twice, and that's it. I'm good. You want to cut it shorter because it's too long, you can. Let's just do a few of these. Which one I haven't done the outside? I didn't do this one. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, you can do it where you put a loop through the inside here. Okay, and you're going to pull your cording through there. Right? You're going to fix that so that it's got you. Okay. Okay. Not too hard because you don't want to rip the paper, right? So maybe I think I need to do it the other way. Hold up. Rewind. Let's go in this way. You know, it didn't feel natural, like how it was gonna fall, the way it should be falling. Okay, let's do that. Okay, do this. Okay, pull this. Yeah, that feels a little better. Okay, if you want, you can do it that way once, because I'm cheap, and then tuck it in behind here, and that's good enough to hold it, I think, right? Let's just clean up this one. All right, so we got that. How else can we do this, guys? How else can we do this? I know, right? I'm struggling. Like, what am I doing here? Let's put it. I don't want to make like a big old mess, though. It's multiple layers, so it's whatever. All right, I'm gonna try one more, and then I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna go through. There we go. Okay, so if we go up this way, okay, like I was trying to do before. Okay, hold it there on these, right? And then I could wrap it this way and put a bow on the back. Okay, I don't know. Well, we got 4 more to do. So I got this kind of closure, just being different, that, doing that, and then doing this. So anyway, thank you again. I think that I start saying goodbye, but then I'm going to say goodbye to all of you guys who came and watched. Thank you so much. Please like, comment. I would love to hear from you guys. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you've been with me for a minute, thank you so much for coming back. And until next time, ciao, ciao. Bye.